Welcome back to the Pandas Intermediate series. In the previous parts, we learned how to filter data, group it, aggregate it, and rank it. Now we reach a very important stage, visualization. But let me be very clear from the beginning. This video is not about drawing colorful charts. It's about using visuals to understand patterns, compare groups, and support decisions. So at the intermediate level, charts are no decoration. Charts are evidence. So, in this video, we will ask questions and we will use pandas visualizations only when they help us answer those questions. Okay? So, let's start with a realistic data set. Nothing fancy, nothing huge, just something close to what you see in real companies. Okay. As we already made the data with department, salary, and experience, we can just copy paste it here. Okay. So, we have determined departments, salaries, and years of experience. Already, we can imagine some questions: which department pays more? Does experience really matters, or are the salaries consistent or spread out? All that. Let's answer those questions step by step. Okay. First of all, let's run this. So, for our first question, average salary by department. Okay. So, we are going to do it simple, but it's too important. Okay. For that, we are taking the average. As we already know, all the steps, average salary equals TF dot group by with the department and the salary. Then we take mean to get the average. We call the average salary. Okay. So here it shows which department makes more average. Now let's find IT has the most average. Okay. So we can read numbers, but numbers are slow for human brain. So we visualize. Okay, numbers are meant for computers, machines, and all. So we are humans. We need something visually interesting and understandable. Okay. For that, we are plotting it. Okay. Now we are going to take average salary and then dot plot. I'm plotting with kind as bar. We need a title. Title as average salary by department. And we close. Now run. So we will get a chart. This chart immediately shows comparison. It appears IT pays to the highest on average and HR the lowest. Finance somewhere between, right? Okay. So we get it by visualization. So I hope you also find it more interesting than to just check on some numbers. Okay. This is a good chart because it answers one clear question. If the chart doesn't exist or doesn't answer the question, it shouldn't exist. Okay. So now we are moving to our second question, that is distribution matters. Okay. We get the salary, but here we are thinking about intermediate level of thinking. So average alone can be misleading. So we need two departments can have the same salary. I mean, two average salaries, but very different spreads. Okay. It's just average salary, but if there are more than two or three department, what will you do? We can go with salary spreads. Let's do that. Okay. So we need to ask deeper questions like how consistent are the salaries with each department? To find it, we will go through df dot box plot with column equals salary and by department. So we will get a box. Yeah, it's different from the EPA one. This is a box plot that it shows median spreads and possible outliers. As we see here, we can find finance as different, and we found IT has the biggest plot, which surrounded by a four squares, and that's marked correctly, like which is the highest and the lowest. Okay, so This chart tell us things that averages never can, and which department has salary inequality, which department is more predictable, or what do extreme values exist. So this is why analysts love box plots. It is more precise and more understandable for a intermediate level of person. Okay, so first we done with bar chart, which is a common one, and people can easily understand the visuals. But when we come to the box plot, that is something little bit complex. But as an intermediate pandas, we should understand how this works. Okay, so they start averages and find which all points or plots it can be placed. Okay, from here we found different salary scales. If we take 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 and all this, we will find 9,000 is the highest and 7,000 is the median, and we get a salary about 8,000, all this. So here we found the chart that shows that the average never can, which department has a salary inequality, all that. Okay, next question. Does experience actually influence salary? Yes, definitely. Experience really influence salary. Okay, so we can use some different chart or visualization. So I'm going to make a scatter chart. Okay, as we said here, we are using df dot plot with kind of y equals, I mean, x equals experience, then y equals salary, then we need to give the kind as scattered, title as experience vs salary. Okay, so we will get a scattered plot. Scatter plots are more relationships, not totals. Okay, based on more about the relationships. Okay, we are not looking for exact points. We are looking for trends, how trends are changing. As experience increases, salary generally increases. So when it's 1, 2, 3, and when the experience is 8, it's almost the highest. So as we see, we know when experience is increasing, the salary generally increases, but not perfectly. That tells us experience matters, but it's not the only factor. Okay, experience is a matter of higher salary, but skills is also mattered. Okay, now let's combine everything we know. We will combine, compare the experience and salary inside each department. So we already make experience via salary and then department and salary in both charts, bar and box plot. Now we are going to compare experience and salary inside each department. Okay, for that we are using df dot group by with department, then dot plot in x equals experience, then y equals salary, Pandas scatter, legend equals false. So we get this like it. Okay. Now this allows us to see how different departments reward experience. When it comes to which department it belongs, finance, it's highest, right? Then maybe if come to next part, that is HR or IT, everything the experience matters the most. Okay, so maybe IT rewards experience more aggressively. Maybe HR has flattered growth or a curve. This kind of visualization help management decisions, salary planning, and policy design. Okay, and at this level, remember these rules. A chart is not the goal. A chart is evidence. Never ask which chart should I draw. Always ask what question I am answering. If you can't explain the insights in most or one sentence, the chart is not going to do its job. Okay. Good analysis is quite clear, purposeful, and quite okay. So it explains your job. It explains, gives a clarity to the stakeholders. All that. Okay. In Pandas Intermediate Part 7, we learned how to use a visualization to compare, understand, validate, and discover relationships. In the next part, we will leave clean data behind and work with real CSV files, messy columns, missing values, and performance challenges. That's how Pandas become truly powerful. Okay, see you in the next part.